The first day of this WorldSkills Lyon 2024 draws to a close here, and I'm joined here for this episode of After Skills with Chris Humphreys. Chris Humphreys, President and Chair of the Board of WorldSkills International. Firstly, thank you so much for being here with me this evening. How's everything gone so far?
Well, thank you for having me, Hayley. It's a great pleasure to be here, and today has felt wonderful. In uncountable numbers of young people, teachers, parents, and conference attendees swamping the environment and making it incredibly difficult to walk. When you've got that much interest in skills, then actually we know there's a good solution coming for young people.
That's good to hear. Now, just looking back to last night, when you introduced yourself, the French President Emmanuel Macron, who was here, he'd spent time with the French delegation, and then, of course, he was officially launched his 47th edition of WorldSkills Competition Open. It was, of course, pleasure to have him here with us, but why do you think it's so important for governments, and especially at that level, to be involved and to come and really kind of meet the youth of today and appreciate and respect the skills that they are uptaking?
Upskilling young people serves two purposes for a country. It gives that young person a genuine opportunity to build a career, to create a life for themselves and their families, and to get a capability, a talent in which they can have pride and which will sustain them in the next 10 years or so of their life. The second reason is that employers need talented, passionate, skilled young people, because that's what productivity and economic performance is built on. So it serves two purposes. It serves the needs of young people and their families, and it really serves the needs of French businesses. It's a win-win.
But it also goes to show how much weight and how important WorldSkills is when you're getting presidents officially opening these kind of competitions. Do you feel that, or why do you feel that this WorldSkill movement is so important for today's youth?
Fundamentally, it's important because it solves two potential challenges for any country. Young people deserve the right to an effective and successful career. And we serve some students, young people, very well through university, but actually the majority of jobs out there are skilled and professional jobs which actually need a talented workforce. Now, if an employer doesn't have that skill, if the employer doesn't have the number of skilled individuals that it needs, then their business suffers, their turnover suffers, their profitability suffers, taxes suffer, and the economy suffers. So get them both right, and you get a win-win both socially and economically.
We've seen some excellent skills here on the competition floor today. Why is excellence in skills so important, not just to a local, but also a global community?
Excellence really matters because there has been in our skill areas a tradition of looking for competence. And competence, although it means good enough, is never good enough if a company wants to compete on the global stage. If companies don't have excellence in skills, then they start to suffer in comparison to their competitors, and the business suffers. But secondly, we need our young people to believe in themselves and to actually feel that they have something to contribute to society. The reason President Macron, I believe, has been involved with this in the last 10 years, supporting the WorldSkills France team, is because he knows the connection between skills, young people, and businesses is essential for the future of France.
I was speaking to some of the sponsors and supporters of WorldSkills who heavily invest in TVET. Why would you say it's primordial now to, or more so than ever, to invest in that?
Interestingly, I'd say that new technology is one of the biggest reasons why skills matter. The fact is that new technology gives every company entering a market the opportunity to start at roughly the same baseline as their international competitors and those who've been doing it for a long time. So how does a company differentiate its products and its services if it's got the same kit, the same facilities? The answer is it differentiates it because its people are better. And so excellence is about raising your standards as a company above the competition in order to give you a market advantage.
Now, going back to that, which I think is very interesting, is not only how skills have evolved, but how WorldSkills has evolved to accommodate new jobs that have been created with digital transformation. Tell us about how you've gone about doing this, and what skills do you, and how you identify those skills to then, include them in the WorldSkills agenda.
This is actually quite an interesting and sometimes challenging thing, because the truth is technology is doing two things. It's changing existing jobs and it's creating new sorts of jobs and occupations. Now, what we have to do is figure out which skills are most critical for the success of national economies and sometimes regional economies, which can be different. So Africa has very different skill needs to Europe. So we need to actually understand from employers themselves, from leading edge global industries, what is happening to change their baseline, how their productive systems, how their technologies are changing, and we need to understand how we keep our skills current with industry needs. So every 2 years, after a competition like this one, we review our occupational standards, our projects that we use here for testing with employers around the world and say, is this still right? Do we need to upgrade our standards? Do we need to require a higher standard of excellence? And on the basis of the information we get, we then rewrite and reissue those occupational standards to all our members, because they then take them and start to review their own national vet system practice.
Oh, so you're constantly reviewing the skills and seeing, what direction they're taking, and
And every 2 years we issue a new set, and we do two things. We update our occupational standards and we review which skills we need to have in a competition. Space can limit us, so we had more skills in Kazan than we have here, and we will probably have more skills in China because space matters and we have to limit ourselves to what is feasible in a particular venue. But that process is absolutely critical to our own ways of working, because if employers see that our skills are losing their comparability and their currency with best practice, then they'll start supporting us less. And every one of our global partners, our sponsors, gets involved with this and helps us to make sure that the next set of occupational standards and the next projects in our competition are as current as we can make them.
One of the underlying themes in the shows of last night's opening ceremony was hybrid, technology, but controlled and complementary with, controlled by people. How important is it to combine the two, and how do we go about controlling and ethically, but also, not being completely overtaken, which is a fear for a lot of people, by digital technology? Where do we draw the line?
It's a challenging one, this one, and we use, for our guidance, we use what those companies who are being successful in the market on a global level, we use what they think to be best practice. They, in fact, do the hard testing because they try things and they work and they incorporate them, and they try things and they fail and they drop them. And so we use their advice to help shape what we do. We've always prided ourselves on using our systems to actually ensure that our skills are current with industry best practice, and we do it by asking them regularly and often.
So just briefly, with regards to the actual competition, each country has what they call an expert. And the expert will guide the competitors or the delegation of their country. Now, we have a roving reporter called Sebastian, and Sebastian was going around talking to a lot of competitors and experts earlier on today. And in fact, he caught up with one expert in the design and textile area, and he did a little interview. So let's take a look at this interview that Sebastian did earlier on today.
We are now in the fashion technology, and come with me. Entrance with Victoria. How are you, Victoria?
I'm good, thank you.
You're good?
Yep.
It's the first day of competition. What is the feeling? A little bit stressed, no?
I'm so excited, you know. I'm very excited seeing all my competitors coming in. And then the first morning, they already did one module. So I'm like a bit relieved, and now they are starting another module. Yeah.
How many competitors in this area?
We have 26. Yeah.
26
Yes.
from all around the world?
Yes,
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 yes.
yes.
Yes, we have from India, we have from China, Spain, and this side we have from Africa, South Africa, and we have Canada and Taiwan, Chinese Taipei, and different kinds, different areas, yes.
How do you select the tools and materials?
Okay, during the CPW, the competition preparation week, we are told that it's very important to be sustainability, especially here in Lyon, in France. So actually, I have been in this competition this is my 10th time. But this is the least material that we use. We only have two materials. One is silk, taffeta, and one is lace, which is very popular here in Lyon.
In Lyon.
Yes, and we have an orange color which tells Lyon. So we make from two fabrics, we'll make couture. Yes.
What level of skill is expected from this event?
I'm expecting very high level world-class skills because this is WorldSkills competition. And this young competitor, they have been trained for a long time. So they have standards that we have told them before. WorldSkills have standard assessment guide, which we have provided to them, and they have to learn according to the standards. So I'm expecting to have really nice couture from them. Yeah.
Have you looked some details or some good competitors at this moment?
At this moment, I cannot tell you. All of them are really good.
All of them. We are waiting
Until
Sunday.
C4, right?
Yeah, C4.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I come back soon.
Okay.
See you soon.
Yeah.
Next up with us, call people.
Great interview there. And I mean, I thought it was very interesting that she addressed sustainability and how it's vital to stay as sustainable as possible when taking part in WorldSkills. Why did you impose this rule, if you will?
Oh, because this rule applies to every company seeking to operate in the world today. The reality is any company that doesn't take sustainability seriously not only risks having higher costs and long-term issues with their own reputation, but they actually risk losing business because the public cares about sustainability. So we've built sustainability in because businesses have to. And if they're to employ people, they need people who understand that and practice it properly. Now, actually, if we get it right, then the world benefits.
Absolutely. Now, another thing I remarked was that the diversity of this event, it is really so rich in diversity in different cultures, different nationalities. And I think that is so important. It's also WorldSkills. It is, of course, a competition above all, but it's also, as you said, an exchange in practices, and it's also an exchange in experience and networking between young, skilled professionals as well.
Many of our members make a point, as soon as the competition finishes, going back home, bringing all the experts together with all the policymakers and professionals in their national vet system, reviewing everything they've learned at WorldSkills, and then go back and rewrite national curriculum, rewrite national pedagogy, and rewrite national assessment practices so that they can ensure that the next 2 years their systems are starting to operate and raise the standards of the next generation of young people. It's an essential part of the value that WorldSkills adds.
But you're also, which I think is fantastic, including new countries every year. This year, there's notably the inclusion of Ethiopia. Sebastian, once again, our roving reporter, caught up with a young Ethiopian competitor earlier on today. Let's hear what she said.
I'm currently in the IT network system competition area, and I'm with Tian Adantiku, one of the representatives from the Ethiopian team. She had just finished the first day of competition, just did 2 minutes around. How do you feel after completing this first day of competition?
It was a long day, of doing in typing so many codes, and I'm so glad to be here. Thank you.
What were the biggest challenge you faced during this task today?
The biggest one,
Yeah.
first of all, it's our first time in competition in worldwide. So that's the main challenge. In the second one, my expert didn't come, so here they are helping me. But when you have experts, it's better.
As you know, I hear. This is the first year WorldSkills Ethiopia has brought the team to WorldSkills. What has your experience been like so far?
It's great. People are so helpful here, and we are sharing experience in the here. Sorry. So many people want to help you and want to share their knowledge too, and it's a great experience for me and for my country. I'm just observing too as the first time, and will come in a strong way.
You must be so proud to represent your country on an international stage. Any message you'd like to share with your friends, your family back home?
By the way, it's the new year today, our new year. So I want to say እንኳን አደረሳችሁ, Happy New Year for all Ethiopians and for everyone. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. As you've seen, our world is powered by skills, and the future of our world lies in the hands of skilled young people. So come to Lyon Air Expo to discover this amazing and incredible event. See you tomorrow.
Sharing experiences, and everyone is so helpful. As you just said, this is more than a competition. It's an experience for each one of the 1,400 competitors that take part. Chris Humphreys, thank you so much for coming here and talking to us on After Skills and sharing all of your insights with the wonderful work you're doing here at WorldSkills at Lyon 2024. And have a great evening and have a great event. And I hope we cross paths over the course of this WorldSkills Lyon later on.
Thank you, Hayley. I'll see you at the closing ceremony.
Will do. Thank you very much.
Okay.